Morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining with me today. Sorry I haven't been on in a while, but there's not a whole bunch going on right now. During the summer it gets slower because of the heat and everything, but just wanted to give another little update of what's going on. I have done some cover. I planted some cover crops in the garden just to take up space and try to keep weeds down, and also to put nutrients back in the soil and everything. So and then I have planted some new stuff besides that. So I will real quick, I'll show you this right here. Kind of looking at me through it. I don't want to change the view right now just because I'm doing this. I got this here. This is a peach tree, and I actually don't know what type it is, but it is a Florida peach, I know that. And I am going to give it my best. I got it from a place that's kind of, I don't know, I don't think it's super reputable, I'll just put it that way. But it looked pretty sad when I got it, but I think it'll be okay. I think that I can baby it. I need to plant it, but I haven't had time. It's been raining in the evenings a lot, so it's into our summer patterns. So, but now I'll meet you out in the garden. I'll actually go ahead and show you a little something that I've done here along the front of my house. Planted a bunch of pintas, and they're pretty easy to grow here, and they attract butterflies really well. So we wanted something that was hardy. I haven't finished putting the mulch in all the way, although it doesn't seem to be doing any good. The weeds are just coming right through it, of course. But I will finish doing that. My wife and I will finish doing that all the way down. And then right at the end here, I planted my key lime tree. So I'll let it grow, I'll let it get up some, and then I'll keep it trimmed to make sure that it doesn't become a problem with the house. But let's go out here and look, and I'll show you what I've done real quick. This tomatillo is still going, and it's making some tomatillos. I just don't exactly know when to pick them. I was assuming that it's when the husk starts turning brown, just like it is with ground cherries, but I could be wrong. The burgundy ochre, this one plant, is still going. These two are still growing, but they just aren't really producing anything. I'm thinking I'm going to have to tear these chayote out because they're just not looking very good. I don't know what's gotten to them, but they're just dying from the bottom up. So possibly a vine borer of some kind. I've been planting more sweet potato, but it really hasn't done me any good because the rabbits just eat it all. I'm going to have to do sweet potato a different way. I'm going to have to put it in a container or do something, try it in a different location, because when I put it out here, the rabbits just tear it up. Got some Everglades tomatoes in here. They're actually starting to bloom, so they look pretty good. That one I don't know if it's going to make it because I accidentally kind of tore the roots out instead of getting the whole. When you take it out of a container, you want to get the soil with it to contain all the roots, and I didn't do that. I tried to, and it just kind of pulled out. The roots pulled out, so I stuck him in, and he's still alive, but we'll see what he does. These two are going pretty strong though, so we'll see. There's some more sweet potato. Now, here's what I've done. The marigold's still doing well. All this that you see in here is black-eyed peas, and we do plan on harvesting some. I'm not gonna string them up or anything, just because my goal with them was to put ground cover, and this is going to add nitrogen back into the soil because they're legumes, so they're going to fix nitrogen. So I went to the grocery store. For me, that's Publix. Bought just a bag of black-eyed peas, and this is all it takes, is just go buy a bag of dried black-eyed peas, and I just literally sprinkled them out in here and let them do what they want. So I'm not worried about thinning them out. I don't care if they, you know, I don't care if there's competition. I don't care, because this is not necessarily meant for harvesting. We will harvest them, but I'm not trying to get a harvest necessarily out of them. All I want to do is provide some ground cover, and whenever the fall comes around, I will, you know, fix this area back up. I'll probably just fork it really well, and these will provide nitrogen back into the soil. That's my goal with them. And to be honest, I don't even really like black-eyed peas. I don't like black-eyed peas at all, but my family does. So if we get some, we'll harvest them, and we should get some, because black-eyed peas are one of the easiest things to grow in Florida. They don't care about the heat. They don't care about any of that. So you can come out in the middle of the day and they look like this. They don't care. It doesn't bother them. So, and then over here, you can see among the weeds that I've hoed out, and now they're back again. That's just the way it is in Florida, especially this time of year when we're getting rain every day. But these little sprouts here, there. I planted some more mammoth sunflower because they also are good for the soil and they attract bees. So anything I can do to attract bees, that's a good thing. And I had the idea to do that because I've got this one Autumn Beauty sunflower that survived over here, and there aren't any bees on it right now, but usually there are at least one or two of the solitary bees every time you come out here. They just love the sunflowers. Now these are neat because unlike the mammoth that grow just one head per stalk, you can see this is one stalk. There's already been 3 flowers, and there are a bunch more buds. So that's how they work, and they kind of have that orangish look on the inside, kind of towards the inner part of the petal, and then it comes out to the yellow. So it's a pretty little flower. I had 3 of them planted over here, but something came along, and you can actually see how that one bent. That's this stalk right here. Something bent it, but it didn't snap it, so it still survived, and I left it there. It's kind of supported by the paneling here. The cucamelon is getting some flowers, so it's doing okay. Hasn't really done anything though. It's climbing like crazy, but it hasn't really produced. So yesterday and the day before, I came out and cleared this area out and used the broad fork on it. The weeds are already growing back. I mean, it literally takes a day and they're already growing back. But I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do anything right here. I might start planting some pumpkins. Get some Seminole pumpkins in the ground, and because they take a little while to start producing, so that way by the time they don't care about the heat and stuff either. By the time it gets to be fall, we'll have some pumpkins. Let me show you some other stuff. I had this random, I looked it up, and it's called, I think, bladder pod. Yeah, bladder pod. This tree that I'm holding here, this plant, and if you notice, there's a little bean on it. So part of me is thinking about taking that and planting it, because it might fix nitrogen, but I don't know if it's actually something you want around. And take a look at my Barbados cherry. It is loaded with blooms, and not a single one is getting pollinated. This is the issue that I have with these things, is I can't get anything to pollinate it. I mean, I would have loads of cherries if something would come over here and pollinate it. And I even planted, there's Spanish needles over here. I had one point had planted, and it's been in some of my videos, I had planted bee balm over here, which has pretty much died back. And just nothing. I've been throwing fruit peels at the base of the tree to try to attract pollinators. Nothing. I cannot get anything to come over here. So what I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is plant flowers, put flowers in around the base of it, and just try to do the best I can to attract pollinators out here, because I want some cherries and I would have lots of them, but nothing comes along and pollinates it. And it's so weird. I can't explain it. Because when I first bought the tree, I had it in a pot over near my house, and every time it bloomed, pollinators would be the sweat bees and solitary bees would be all over it. But ever since I put it out here, nothing touches it. So the Florida avocado is doing really well. It's putting on more leaves. So is the mango here, putting on a new layer. I don't know what kind of bug that is. It might be a wheel bug, I can't tell. If it's a wheel bug, I'll leave it, because wheel bugs are predatory bugs. So everything else is doing pretty well. Both the loquat trees are putting on new leaves. My Jamaican cherry is doing well. It's pretty much continuously blooming and putting out cherries. I'm looking forward to when this is a bigger tree, so we'll actually have a good solid load of cherries. What I would love is for a banana bloom. I don't know what the deal is. I cannot get this banana to bloom. I can't get it to make fruit. I don't know. Here's this one moringa. You see I cut it and it is growing back. So lemongrass is going nuts because of all the rain. And the mulberry is looking pretty good, starting to bloom again. So hopefully we'll get another set of mulberries. The only problem is a lot of them are up there, but I can bend the tree down some and get them. But yeah, hopefully get another good set of mulberries. Stick those away. My biggest star fruit is getting bigger and bigger, and it's starting to branch out, which is good. It's not just one stick anymore. It's starting to put on, you can see like right in here, is sending out branches to, so that's looking pretty good. My sad little tangerine over here, it's hanging in there. I come in here almost every day. There's always a hole right there, and I bury it back up, and I will guarantee you that I'll come out here. I can come out tomorrow morning, and that hole, that was where my footprint is, right in there, will be right back there. I always liked armadillos until I started planting fruit trees, and now they're really starting to get on my nerves. This sad stick right here was the Mame Sapote, and it is, I have a feeling, dead. I think it just didn't make it, which is sad because those are delicious fruit. Now, something that I'm planning on doing is clearing out. This is a keyhole garden. You can't really see it because I've let the weeds take it over. But clearing it out, and I want to put, sorry about that, I'm adjusting the camera. I want to put some of our native dewberry in there, which, let me show you. Oh, here's another sweet potato. But look, this is what I'm talking about. You see right here where my finger is? That's what happens. There'll be leaves there, and they'll come out, and all the leaves are just eaten off. So it's either rabbits or rats, I don't know what, but it's terrible. Pakistani is not blooming, but it is putting on more leaves, which is good, because I was a little worried about it, to be honest. was not looking very healthy. The fig is putting on leaves like crazy. I want it to put on fruit. I've heard that if you pinch the leaves off, it'll put fruit on. So I did that right there, and it's just putting more leaves back on. That's what it looks like. But I'm just gonna let it go, let it do its thing. I need to do more research into figs and getting figs to fruit. Anyways, yeah. The little pineapples growing over here. The pineapples are enjoying the rain. I need to, it's hard to weed in here because of everything just being the way it is. So I don't know if I'm going to put any more pineapples in out here, if I'm just going to leave them in containers, but we'll see. Pineapples are not hard to keep happy though, so I'm not all that worried about it. So anyways, my yam over here is really doing well. Look at all that big healthy leaves, and it's crawling up the tree, looking really good. I can't wait. I'll probably harvest it at the end of this year when everything dies back, and I can't wait because they're so good. Yams are so good. Now let me get this. I hate this stuff right here. This stuff here is called Caesar weed, and it's invasive, and it spreads like wildfire, and it's everywhere, and it drives me insane. It makes these, the flowers are pretty. They kind of remind me of a marshmallow flower, but and the butterflies like them, but they make these little, when they die back, they make these little almost like sand spur seeds, and so they stick to everything and spread everywhere. But this plant right here, it's got these leaves right here, that is a dewberry, and I've talked about it on my channel before. Now the one thing with these is you can see they are extremely thorny, but they are native berries here, and a lot of people call them wild blackberries, but they're actually dewberries. They don't get very big, and they're full of seeds, but they're really, really good eating. They taste really good. They're good to make jam and stuff like that with. So what I want to do is find a bunch of these dewberries, dig them out, and plant them in my keyhole garden over there, and then that way I can kind of cultivate them. My in-laws have done that, and I've had really good success. I've had a lot of dewberries, because if you just leave them in the ground and let them do their own thing naturally, a lot of times you don't even get berries. It really depends on how much rain they get at a certain time of the year and that sort of stuff. So that's why I want to try cultivating them, so that I can possibly get more out of them, actually get berries. There's another one coming up. There's one right there. They have those kind of, not striped, but they have like the indentions on them, the lines on the leaves, and extremely thorny. Got a bunch of Spanish needle coming up in here. But anywhere you go in Florida, if you look along like just like the edge of forests and stuff like this, you'll find dewberries for the most part. I don't know if there are any more over here, but you can usually, I can go to the back of my property here, and there's usually dewberry growing. But yeah, so I want to try to cultivate them so I can actually get more, because the berries are really good. I think that might be, I think this right here, yep, bitter melon or bitter gourd. Those are edible, but they are bitter, as their name implies. I know they're used in Asian cooking a lot. You can see one growing right there, that little spiky looking weird thing. It'll turn orange when it's ready, and the seeds will be bright red. I don't use them for anything, but they are edible. You can use them in cooking. As you can see, I've got wild lantana everywhere. Lantana is toxic. Here we go. That right there, that is dewberry. And it can get pretty tall. There's a jumbled mess in here. I need to take my brush mower and work on it, but that just takes a lot of time. Lots of lantana in there. People go to Home Depot and stuff to buy lantana, and there's no, I don't need to, I've got it growing all around. But it's a pretty flower, and the butterflies like it, but it makes these little berries, and the berries are extremely toxic. Not as bad as rosary pea, but they're still very toxic. Here's another toxic plant. That is Dioscorea bulbifera. That's the Latin name. It's a type of yam. It's an air potato. It's like a we call them air potatoes, but they are toxic. I wish they weren't, because if they weren't, I'd have yams all the time. Oh, here's Caesar weed that's going to seed. You can see those little burrs, like little sand spurs, and if you just brush up against them, they're going to be all over you. See, there's the flower right there. It's a pretty little flower. It looks like almost like a little hibiscus, or like I said, a marshmallow flower, which that's what I thought it was at first, was marshmallow. But marshmallow needs to grow in a swampy area, and this is not swampy. So, but nope, it's something called Caesar weed. It's invasive, and it is very prolific and very annoying. Anytime I mow the yard, if I just brush up against it, I'll have those little spurs all over me. And, I don't want to spread those around. If I get, the same thing happens with the Spanish needles. You get the little needles all over you, like right here. Those little needles will get all over you, but Spanish needle is a good thing. Anyways, I'm rambling now. That's what I like to do, apparently. So, but let me go. We're going to go look one last thing. Since I planted those vanilla vines, mushrooms growing up everywhere because of all the rain we've gotten. I'll show you, give you a better shot of the peach tree. I got new blueberry popping up, and the rest of them look like they're dying. But you can see, like, one side of the tree is basically dead, the other side is okay. And I've got these weird, like on the dead part, these weird little red worm looking things. But I really hope it doesn't die, because I paid a good chunk of money for that thing. But anyways, let me come over here real quick. Oh, and here's my ginger's popping back up, and I can tell that it has spread, because originally it was just like right there. Now there's ginger, and it's even popping up over here and right here. So I can tell that it is spreading, which is good. I would love for ginger to just take over there. That would be great. My passion fruit is going bonkers. I've got so much passion fruit. I don't even know what to do with it all. And the yam that I have planted over there by the that clothesline pole is doing well too. It's climbing up. I cannot wait to have some yam. We'll harvest it and eat majority of it, but then we'll keep some aside. I'll chop it up and I'll plant it again, or I may just leave a chunk of it in the ground. We'll see, because yam is so good. The problem is going to be competition, but it's doing well. There it is. I need it to go this way though. Don't turn backwards, little thing. So it looks good. Looks very healthy. Hasn't gotten any. It hasn't turned brown. It hasn't, I can tell they're getting longer. This one is doing especially well, so maybe it likes a little bit more sun. But you can see it's starting to go onto the tree, and that's what I want. I want it to just climb on up this rain tree here, and hopefully, I don't know when it will produce, because I know nothing about growing vanilla. It's literally just this person, Green Days Farms, on a group I'm in on Facebook, said, "Hey, I got vanilla," and I said, like, well, they announced it, that they have it, and they said that it's for sale, and so I bought a couple and stuck it in, and it's literally an experiment plant. Let's just see what it does. But I would love to have my own vanilla, and I'm pretty sure this right here is horseradish, because that's where I planted some. It's not like ginger where I can smell it. If you tear off a leaf and smell it, it smells like ginger. But I'm assuming that's horseradish. I'd have to dig it up. Speaking of another toxic plant, this one right here, pokeweed. That's a big one. You can, if you harvest pokeweed when it's a shoot and cook it, you can make a southern dish called poke salad. I don't fool with it. I don't know what I'm looking for, and I don't really care if I eat poke salad. This right here, here's the culprit. This right here, this vine, that is rosary pea. That is probably the most toxic thing we've got growing around here. One of those, and I'm not exaggerating, you eat one of those and actually crack. They're very, 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 very hard. But if you happen to bite into it and crack the seed and swallow it, you're more than likely gonna, you have a very good chance that you're gonna die. And I'm not exaggerating. There it is right there. See those red seeds? That's rosary pea. I know in places like Jamaica and stuff, they use them to make jewelry. But yeah, they are extremely, extremely toxic. And like I said, I'm not over exaggerating. That is me doing research, looking it up in books and stuff, that if you do happen to crunch one of those and swallow it, death is not uncommon. So, very dangerous. Anyways, that is about all for today. I just wanted to give it a little update, check back in with everybody. Like I said, not a whole bunch going on. This is not really a super busy time in the garden because it's summertime, and summertime in Florida is just so hot and humid and wet and a lot of bugs and stuff like that, so it's hard to grow a lot of things. I'm doing what I can, but I'm basically just taking care of the garden, waiting for fall so that I can start planting again. Fall is my favorite time to garden here. So, yeah. But I'm going to keep trying with the sweet potatoes. I won't give up. And I'm probably going to, like I said, put some pumpkin in out there. And in the fall, we'll address what I'm going to be putting in then. So that's all for now. And I appreciate everybody watching. Please, if you know somebody who would be interested in watching any of my videos, please share them. I really want to try to grow my channel and form a community, and I cannot do that by myself. I need your help. So please share, and please leave any constructive criticism. I make fun of the person who told me I ramble, just because that's not constructive criticism. They were being a jerk. But I do welcome constructive criticism because I'm still new to all this. And hold on around so you can see me instead of my plants when I'm talking. But obviously over time, if this takes off, I'll get better equipment and I'll have better quality videos and stuff like that. But yeah, so any constructive criticism is helpful. I appreciate anybody watching, any followers, any subscribers already. Let's try to make this thing grow. and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking about the garden. I enjoy gardening, obviously. And more subjects will pop up along the way, I'm sure. But anyways, that's it for today. I need to go in and get ready to go to work. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.